Howdy folks, today I'm going to show you how to set up and play Fortify, our new game by Barrel Aged Games. Put all the components out on the table, put the game board in the center, and then each player is going to select a set of balloon dice here. Next up, we'll go through the components. So I've got the hit tokens here. Whenever you get a hit on your base, you're going to get one of these hit tokens. Once you get 3 of those hit tokens, it's game over. Next up, we've got our little cousin here and Jerk. These two have showed up to play the game, and the corresponding dice are there. I'll explain those in just a second. All right, so we've got our thrower kids. These are going to be our water balloon kids. If I can enclose a section of my fort, I can then invite these kids over, and they are going to gain me 1 extra water balloon for each one of these that I have. Next up are builder kids. Now these kids are going to gain us an extra fort card if we can enclose them on every round. Let's talk about the fort cards. So the fort cards are all different shapes and colors. You're going to use these to build out your fort and invite over more of those kids. Okay, now that we're ready to go, each player is going to get 4 cards face down. And then when both players are ready, you say go. You can look at the top card that you have. You can orient this however you like. You need to connect it to your base, something like that. Then you can look at the next card. Once you look at the next card, you can no longer move that last set of boxes. Now this is actually pretty good. I could put this here and hope that I get a straight one. I think I'm just going to go ahead and connect it here. And that would work. Let's say I had something like this and I didn't want to place it on my card, on my fort. I can cycle this and put it at the bottom and then look at the next card. In this case, this does quite well for me. So then I'm going to go ahead and place this somewhere else. Now, once you've enclosed a section of your fort, you can then invite over some of these kids we were talking about. So I could go for 2 of these builder kids, and if I did that and they were still enclosed at the end of the round, I would gain an extra 2 fort cards. So I would get 6 cards instead of 4. Instead, I'm going to go ahead and recruit one of these thrower kids, so that way I can throw 1, 2. You always get a dice for your captain here. Let's go ahead and build out. I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll see if we can't do something similar. That's a great card to have. Uh-oh. We'll try it. I don't like that one. I'm going to cycle that and see. Ow. Well, all right. Well, we know what it is. So here's one thing you want to avoid is similar colors in a row, because now the next thing we're going to do is throw our balloon dice, and if we ever land one of these hits on a fort card, you're going to discard that card. If you have similar colors though, you're not only going to discard this one, but any similar colors along with it. So this player would actually lose all of these with 1 green hit. But hey, they're able to enclose a section, which means maybe they'll go for 2 of these builder kids. Now, one thing to mention is if you want to add some speed to the building portion of the game, you're going to do this with this cousin token. So the little cousin is going to be put here in the middle. Whoever builds all their fort cards first. So let's say I was able to place all of these cards down first. I would grab this token before this player was able to do that. What this does is it grants me this water balloon dice, this additional water balloon dice during our balloon fight phase. And you notice it has 2 of these block tokens. All right, now we're going to have our water balloon fight. Now, you gather up the number of dice, which is your captain, plus any of these thrower kids. This player would only have 1. Then whoever was able to get the little cousin over on their side gets that additional dice. On the count of 3, when everybody's ready, you're going to throw all those dice, and then we're going to be placing our hits. I'll show you what that means. So this player rolled a wild. A wild can be placed on any color, and notice the kids have their own color too. That'd be blue, that's green. A wild primarily is always placed on the base, because remember, once you get 3 hits on the base, it's game over. Now this is what I rolled, a blue, a yellow, and a green. So I'm immediately going to place that green over here. I could also place it on this kid, but remember, they've got 3 cards in a row. I want to knock out all 3 of those. You can re-roll any dice you have remaining. So I have these 2 dice remaining. I don't really, the blue, I could knock out this kid. The yellow, they don't have any yellows. So I'm going to go for both. I'm going to go ahead and try and re-roll both. Now, if any player is out of dice, they can then immediately call that jerk token over onto their side, or essentially grab that up off the board. This is going to gain them this extra wild dice at the end of the round. I'll show you what that means in just a second. So I'm going to re-roll. I get a red and another green. Remember, I have to place at least one. They don't have any reds, so I will place the second green there. Now I'm really hoping for a block so I can remove that hit. Yellow. Let's just say, for the sake of the video, that I did roll a block. What that means is that I could block a hit that had already taken place. So I'll do that. I'm out of dice, they're out of dice. We sort of call time out, but that's when the jerk comes in. Remember, he said he's not playing. So whoever grabbed this token up first then gets to throw this dice. There's 2 wilds on this side. He throws a red instead. So we'll place that over here. If instead they placed a wild, that would then equate to 1 wild, which gives me 1 hit. And then I get 2 more. It's game over for me. Instead, they placed a red. They're going to place it on one of these cards. That would be discarding that card, removing it from the game. Anything that was blocked is removed without any consequences. Over here, so one green hit on these cards is going to knock out all 3 of these. Put those in the discard pile. And then this guy, instead of being discarded, whenever a kid is hit, they're just soaked, taking up room in your fort area. Now you got to build around them. And that's the game. So on the next round, make sure to put the cousin back in the center. We'll get 4 more cards here. Let's see how we can do. Let's see if I can enclose something for you guys. Uh-oh. Let's see what we got next. Great. Yep. So we can do something like this. Again, if I was able to enclose those first before him, I'd grab up this token, and I'd probably fill this in with some more water balloon kids. You'll notice as the game plays out, every time is very different because these forts always get unique, and depends on if you're going for defense or offense and all of that. So we have had a ton of fun making this game. Thank you so much for helping us and for your support, and we hope you enjoy it. Thank you.